Yeah. Are the this microphone is working. Okay. Good morning. Now we are going to be singing hymn number 188, Come, Come, Whoever You Are. And first I would like to explain how we're going to do this. We are going to do it as a round. And Jonathan and I are going to lead the round. We're going to do it in 2 parts. Because we don't have a microphone for that side right now, pretend that I'm like 15 feet that way. So we're gonna split this row down the middle, like Karen and everybody directly behind Karen Goldner. You can decide which side you want to be on. But anybody to that side, you're with Jonathan. Anybody to that side, you're with me. Oh, sorry, yeah. And we're gonna do it 2 times all together. Like without the round, we'll just do it kind of for practice and get it in the sync. And then we'll do 2 rounds. And then 1 extra line at the end. Whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again, come. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again, come. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again, come. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again, come. Come, yet again, come. Nice job. Thank you. And you may be seated.
Welcome to Second Unitarian Church. I'm Jim Simonis. My pronouns are he and him. Today we are in person at the Admiral at the Lake, the 2U Sanctuary, continuing to meet virtually using Zoom. We're glad you are here whichever way you are attending. We have devices available as well as noise-canceling headphones for both adults and children with noise sensitivities. Please see our tech team in the back of the sanctuary if needed. Speaking of the back of the sanctuary, you will likely notice the tarps and the buckets in the back over the past few weeks. We're happy to report that we do not have a leaky roof. What you're seeing is part of our effort to manage a temporary condensation issue as we test and adjust the building's temperature during this especially hot and humid stretch of summer. Everything is under control and being closely monitored by our building, infrastructure, and grounds, the big team. Thank you for your continued patience. As we navigate the varying needs of our health and wellness, particularly related to COVID, we welcome you to wear a mask. We have masks available at the table as you enter the building. We especially welcome newcomers and visitors this morning. Finding a new community and making new connections can be a challenge. Please know that we are excited to have you and look forward to getting to know you. If you would like, there are blue mugs available during the coffee hour. You can use to signal to others that you would like them to come up and say hello. Not sure what to say? The Drum Allies group comes up with the questions each week to help spark the conversation. The question this week is, what does the future smell like? Does it need a deodorant? Additionally, we always need people in the kitchen after the coffee hour. And that's a great place to see old friends and make new ones while lending a helping hand. We want to remind everyone that the sounds of children are welcome during our service. Our worship today is led by Paris, along with Elizabeth Anderson as worship associate. Music is provided by Jonathan Dunmore and Marianne Perker. Our time together requires a large group of people who make possible the worship, the music, and the technical production. You can find many announcements about what's going on at church in your order of service. We encourage you to take it home when you exit the sanctuary. As we greet our neighbor, it is vital that we do this with the utmost focus on consent and conformability. Whatever method you do, please ask the other person if they feel comfortable with that level of contact. If you need a default level, today we recommend fist pumps. This is the time to take a moment and greet your neighbor.
So much for nothing today. Okay, so I can just stand here. We are a Unitarian Universalist congregation, a community of children, youth, and adults, a people of many beliefs and traditions, bound not by the specific list of things we believe, but the values we share, where we keep love at the center. Whether you are joining us for the first time or the 1000th time, you are welcome here. Whether you believe in God some of the time, all of the time, or none of the time, you are welcome here. Whatever your race, whomever you love, whichever way you move in the world, however much money is in your pocket, you are welcome here. I invite you, when you feel ready, to take a breath in and out. And now please rise in body and or spirit and join in singing our congregational hymn, Spirit of Life, number 123. Please remain risen and join me in reciting our covenant. We covenant to build a community that challenges us to grow and empowers us to honor the truth within ourselves. We will be generous with our gifts and honest in our communication, holding faithful to a love that embraces both diversity and conflict. Called by our living tradition, we will nurture spirituality within a vision of the eternal, living out our inner convictions through struggles for justice and acts of compassion.
You may be seated. I just want to pause for one moment. Tech table, could you give me a thumbs up if that mic is working, the Jonathan's mic, because I couldn't hear it through the speaker. Needs more projection. Yeah, okay. So we just got to project more at that mic. Thank you. Sorry about that, everybody. In just a moment, Amya here in the sanctuary and Harris at the Admiral will light our chalices, the symbol of our faith. We light our chalices this morning by the words of Jamie Yandel. We light this chalice to ignite the divine spark of the universe, whose pronouns have always been plural, a co-creation of brilliance and diversity, a tapestry of souls perfected. And now I invite all who are young in years and young of heart to join me at the chancel for our time for all ages. Good morning. So we will have this book up on the screen as well. Thank you for joining me. And today we're going to read Harold and the Purple Crayon. The reason that I picked this book is because I feel like imagination is really powerful and important, and imagination can create our lives. One evening, after thinking it over for some time, Harold decided to go for a walk in the moonlight. There wasn't any moon, and Harold needed a moon for a walk in the moonlight. And he needed something to walk on. He made a long, straight path so he wouldn't get lost. and he set off on his walk, taking his big purple crayon with him. But he didn't seem to be getting anywhere on the long, straight path. So he left the path for a shortcut across a field, and the moon went with him. The shortcut led right to where Harold thought a forest ought to be. He didn't want to get lost in the woods, so he made a very small forest with just one tree in it. It turned out to be an apple tree. The apples would be very tasty, Harold thought, when they got red. So he put a frightening dragon under the tree to guard the apples. It was a terribly frightening dragon. It even frightened Harold. He backed away. His hand holding the purple crayon shook. Suddenly, he realized what was happening. But by then, Harold was over his head in the ocean. He came up thinking fast, and in no time, he was climbing aboard a trim little boat. He quickly set sail, and the moon sailed along with him. After he had sailed long enough, Harold made land without too much trouble. He stepped ashore on the beach, wondering where he was. The sandy beach reminded Harold of picnics, and the thought of picnics made him hungry. So he laid out a nice, simple picnic lunch. There was nothing but pie. But there were all 9 kinds of pie that Harold liked the best. When Harold finished his picnic, there was quite a lot left. He hated to see so much delicious pie go to waste. So Harold left a very hungry moose and a deserving porcupine to finish it up. And off he went, looking for a hill to climb to see where he was. Harold knew that the higher up he went, the farther he could see. So he decided to make the hill into a mountain. If he went high enough, he thought, he could see the window of his bedroom. He was tired, and he felt he ought to be getting on to bed. He hoped he could see his window from the top of the mountain. But as he looked down over the other side, he slipped, and there wasn't another side to the mountain. He was falling in thin air. But luckily, he kept his wits and his purple crayon. He made a balloon, and he grabbed onto it. And he made a basket under the balloon big enough to stand in. He had a fine view from the balloon, but he couldn't see his window. He couldn't even see a house. So he made a house with windows, and he landed the balloon on the grass in the front yard. None of the windows was his window. He tried to think where his window ought to be. He made some more windows. He made a big building full of windows. That looks like a city building with lots of homes. He made lots of buildings full of windows. He made a whole city full of windows. But none of the windows was his window. He couldn't think where it might be. He decided to ask a policeman. The policeman pointed the way Harold was going anyway, but Harold thanked him. And he walked along with the moon, wishing he was in his room and his bed. Then suddenly, Harold remembered. He remembered where his bedroom window was when there was a moon. It was always right around the moon. And therein, Harold made his bed. He got in it, and he drew up the covers. The purple crayon dropped on the floor, and Harold drifted off into sleep. And now we will sing Children Off to the Service. It's intergenerational, sorry. Each year, we make a commitment, a pledge to support the ministry of our church. In addition to this contribution, each Sunday, we take a collection so that we can share with those doing justice beyond our church community. While we are unable to come together in person, you can still share your resources. To make your contribution, you can send a text to the number on the screen, which will be up when the music begins, or can be found in your order of service. We will also pass the collection plate around in the sanctuary. You are welcome to add your change, cash, or checks to the plates. For the month of July, we are sharing our plate with Unitarian Universalist Advocacy Network of Illinois, which supports congregational capacity and legislative advocacy across the state. Today is the last Sunday of the month, and so today we will have a sharing from a committee. So I'm taking off my lay service leader hat, and I'm putting on my marketing chair hat. Just imagine. Okay. So my name is Pip Paris, he, him, his. I am the chair of 2U's marketing committee. It's a pretty small committee right now, not having meetings at the moment because there wouldn't be enough of us to hold a meeting. I do work closely with our admin, Brandon, who is amazing. And I am always grateful for Ellen Rocket, who is always available for design work, which is their specialty. Recently, I went through the website and added alt tags to the images. That means that a person with limited vision uses a screen reader to read the website, and they'd have image descriptions to tell them what the images are. It's important for accessibility, and it also allows Google to show our website more often when people search for churches in the area. I'm also especially pleased with our success at Pride Fest. We had 10 volunteers who helped haul stuff around, greeted people at the table, handed out ice water and lemonade, and told people about our church. These were the first hot days of the year. And if you remember, they were very, very hot days, but we still persevered. We had 236 interactions with people in the public. We had, and that's not counting people who just said hi or people who wanted to know where the bathroom was. That is not in that number. From those 236 interactions, we had 28 newsletter signups. And some of these newsletter signups led to new visitors. I like those numbers, but also the full visibility in the community from Pride Fest is hard to measure. For instance, one person came up to me the second day of the fest and told me that they had seen us the first day, walked by without saying hi, then went home and Googled us. They liked the info on our website so much that they came back the second day just to talk to us. Who knows how many other people saw us, searched for us online later, and have visited since. Market Days is coming. It's August 8th through 10th, and we will need volunteers for setting up, tearing down, bringing drinks, and a sign up came out in the email, and you can ask me for the link as well. We could use more people. No marketing knowledge or experience is required, and I would be happy to work together with you to find tasks that met your passions and capabilities. So thank you for your time, and now I'm taking my marketing hat off.
Now I invite you to join me in reading our offertory words. The words are printed in your order of service and are on the screen. This church is the community of ourselves. Its energy and resources are our energy and resources. Its wealth is what we share. As we contribute to the life of this community, we affirm it and enable its participation in the larger world around us. The offering will now be generously given and gratefully received.
I invite you now into the spirit of prayer and meditation. Let us start by breathing together. Take a deep breath in and out. We begin in thanks. Thankful for the breath in our lungs, the beauty of our earth, and the strength of this community. We hold in our hearts those who care for family in ill health, those who live with grief or chronic pain, those struggling with addiction or illness, seen and unseen. We are with you. For parents and teachers, and all those whose primary spiritual practice is caring for children, we are with you. We pray for our neighbors in prison, for those who are struggling to stay afloat in the midst of poverty, for immigrants and refugees who are fleeing and finding new homes in our city, among many. We are with you. We pray for all those living in harm's way. We pray for our planet and commit to work that will lead us away from the harms of climate chaos. We pray that wisdom, compassion, and empathy guide the leaders of our world. May they and we be instruments of a just and lasting peace. Our lives are blessed by those who are encountering the final stages of life. We offer prayers of comfort and care, knowing this journey is far from easy. Into the shared silence, I invite you now to speak the names of anyone you wish to lift up into the loving support of the community. With our deepest compassion, let us hold in our hearts those named and unnamed, those remembered and those forgotten. Let it be so. Amen. Blessed be. During our ritual of lighting candles for our joys and concerns, we want to continue to take care of one another. In the 2U sanctuary, you are invited to come forward and light a candle. As you end your time of contemplation and candle lighting, we invite you to use the hand sanitizer available. For those at the Admiral, I invite you to come forward and take a pebble from one bowl, hold it tightly, putting your energy into the stone, and then, knowing your joys and concerns to be shared by this community, let it go lightly into the other bowl. For those on Zoom, join us by sharing your joys and concerns in the chat window. You may come up now. we hold all of these joys, concerns, sorrows, and struggles close to our hearts.
This reading is from Emergent Strategy, Shaping Change, Changing Worlds by Adrienne Marie Brown. Creating more possibilities counters the very foundational assumptions about strategy. The word strategy is a military term, which means a plan of action towards a goal. I really want to emphasize the A's in that sentence. There is a practice of narrowing down, identifying one path forward, one strategy, one way, one agenda, one leader, one set of values, etc. Reducing the wild and wonderful world into one thing that we can grasp, handle, hold on to, and advance. One tragedy of this quick narrowing is that people get left out, not just in a slightly hurtful way, but left out of how we construct every aspect of society, infrastructure, and culture. We come up with incredible plans that don't account for crucial segments of our communities. We create unity that entails leaving behind people with disabilities or trans, indigenous, immigrant communities, and others. Imagination is one of the spoils of colonization, which in many ways is claiming who gets to imagine the future for a given geography. Losing our imagination is a symptom of trauma. Reclaiming the right to dream the future, strengthening the muscle to imagine together, is a revolutionary decolonizing activity. We are touching the future, reaching out across boundaries and post-apocalyptic conditions to touch each other, to call each other out as family, as beloveds. Octavia Butler says, all that you touch, you change. All that you change touches you. Octavia Butler is a bridge for many of us between this world and the narratives that pull through to the next realm or the parallel universe or the future in which we are the protagonists.
My apology. There was an omission in the order of service. I take responsibility. There is a meditation now, and then there'll be the anthem. But first, I'm going to explain what we're going to do because we're changing up the order a little bit here. So I'm going to lead everybody through a meditation. First, there'll be breathing exercises, a breathing exercise, which is box breathing. Raise your hand if you've done box breathing. 3/4 of people. Okay. So the idea is that I will lead us through breathing in for the count of 4, hold for the count of 4, out for the count of 4, hold for the count of 4. If my pace is wrong for you, or if you have any kind of breathing difficulty, or if this kind of exercise doesn't work for you for any other reason, just feel to just pay attention to your breath during that time, and that's fine. There's no wrong way to do this. That's first. And then I will invite you to imagine a future 10 years from now. You pick something in your life that you're concerned about. It can be small. That's sometimes easier to imagine a better future 10 years from now, but it can be big if you feel like you can do it. And the idea is that you take the problem that you're concerned about now, that's happening now, and imagine it resolved in 10 years in a positive way, in a good way, in a way that you feel good about. And then I will ask you to imagine what your life is like in that future that's different. And we'll imagine it in sensory detail. So the 5 senses: sight, sound, touch, hearing, and smell. And the reason for that is because if you imagine a possible future in great sensory detail, it actually sticks in your mind as something closer to a memory than an imagination. And so it actually helps you to move your trajectory of your life towards that better future more easily. And then I'll invite you to imagine a small step you could start taking towards that future. I know this is a lot, but it's worth it. I've done this service 5 times before, and it's always, people have positive experiences with it. At that point, I will invite you to take out your art supplies. Is there anybody in here who did not get art supplies at the door? 3 people, 4 people, 5 people. Okay. Would it make sense for someone to pass them out, or do you guys? Okay. Someone will come around and give you art supplies. We did pretty good by getting most of people. And at that point, you will take out whatever art supplies you have. And if you're at home, you can get something now if you didn't already. And then you will just make an image. And the point of this image is not to be Picasso or Van Gogh. Like, this isn't your kindergarten art teacher grading you. Hopefully your kindergarten art teacher didn't grade you, but this is now artwork that you're trying to be a masterful artist and be the best artist ever. The point of it is to just create something that means something to you. It can be a stick figure. It can be anything. This is not about the quality of the art. It's about the experience of creating something that links with your imagination. And I'll give you just a little bit of time to work on that, but you can keep working on it during the anthem, which comes after that, which is going to be Jonathan singing a cappella. And then after Jonathan sings the anthem, I will start the sermon. You can keep working on your art as long as you want. Okay? It doesn't have to be finished. You can, I won't be offended if you're not looking at me while I'm preaching. And Jonathan knows you might not be looking at him while he's singing. So it's fine to work on it any of that time. Does everybody have art supplies now? Okay, raise your hand if you still don't. I think Triage and a few other people. Keep your hand raised, at least if you can, for a minute. And I can keep talking while she does that, just to, fill the time. So I originally did this service when I was an intern minister at Broadway United Methodist Church. That was my parish internship that I did in connection with my Meadville seminary education. And I was tasked with creating a spiritual experience instead of a regular service. And we did it. And the art that people made was very interesting. Like, I loved it. And it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't about, artisanship skill. It was just like the visions that people had were really beautiful. And so I've done this service there. I've done this service in Lafayette, Indiana. I've done this service in South Bend, Indiana, and a couple other places. I don't totally remember everywhere I've done it, but it always seems to go well. And I think everybody has art now. And so I just, if you're having any resistance to this idea, I just invite you to try it anyway. And, just do what you're comfortable with, though. So first we will do the breathing and then the meditation. So first I invite you to either close your eyes if you're comfortable, or soften your gaze and just sort of be present in your body. You can listen for any aches or pains. If there's anything you can do to adjust your body, to alleviate discomfort, make little adjustments. If there's pain that can't be fixed that easily, then I invite you just to love that part of yourself for now. And just accept the experience you're having. Through this experience, if you hear little noises in the room, just accept them as part of the experience as well. And then notice your breathing. Just notice it for now. Just feel it coming in and out gently. And then we'll get ready to start the box breathing. And we'll go in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. And then just breathe normally. Now think about a concern you have in your current life, your personal life, or the world. Big or small, it's your choice. And then imagine 10 years from now, that problem has resolved in the most positive way possible. You don't have to know how, just imagine that it has. How do you know that everything about that problem is okay now? Imagine yourself in your life with that problem solved in a beautiful way. And if you are able to see, look around, what do you see in your life? The details. There's no wrong answer, it's just what comes to your mind. What sounds do you hear in this future? What do you hear? Is it the sound of children laughing? Is it the breeze or waves or coffee pot making coffee? It could be anything. Just imagine it in detail. What can you touch? What is the surface you're sitting or standing on? What's within the reach of your hands? What do these things feel like? How do you feel in your body just knowing everything with this problem is okay now? What can you taste? Is there a food or a drink you associate with this new future? Taste it. Finally, smell. What does the future smell like? I'll notice this is also the Drum Allies question of the week. So this is something you can tell other people about later. What does the future smell like for you? For me, it smells like stew. Just savor those senses for a moment. Let yourself feel contentment and joy that things worked out as well as they could. This beautiful way. Take a moment, bring yourself back to this moment in time. Wiggle your body just a little. Just kind of get back comfortable to where you are right now. Take some deep breaths. And then gently open your eyes. You can focus your gaze. Then I invite you to grab your art supplies and create an image. It doesn't have to be a masterpiece. It can just be a symbol of the vision you had. It could be a symbol of a step an action you could take towards that goal, or it can be the future itself, or even one of the senses that you imagine. Be anything that is meaningful to you that'll remind you of this future that you have created in your mind. Once the anthem and sermon start, you can keep making the art then, but I will give you just a few moments of just music.
Remember to be resilient and to listen. I am resilient. I trust the movement. I negate the chaos, uplift the negative. I'll show up at the table again and again and again. I'll close my mouth and learn to listen. Boom, 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 boom. These times are poignant. The winds have shifted. It's all we can do to stay uplifted. Pipelines through backyards, wolves howling out front. Yeah, I got my crew, but truth is what I want. Realigned and on point. Power to the peaceful. Prayers to the waters. Women at the center. All vessels open to give and receive. Let's see the system brought down to its knees. I'm made of thunder. I'm made of lightning. I'm made of dirt, yeah. Made of the fine things my father taught me. That I'm a speck of dust, and this world was made for me. So let's go and try our luck. I've got my roots down, 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 down deep. I've got my roots down, 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 down deep. I've got my roots down, 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 down deep. Got my roots down, 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 down deep. Zumba, bow, doom, chicka, boom, cha, boom, chicka, boom, dum, 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 ba, dum, chicka, dum, 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 ba, chicka, dum, dum, dum. So what are we doing here? What has been done? What are you gonna do about it when the world comes undone? My voice seems tiny, but I'm sure so does yours. And we'll put us all together and we'll make a mighty roar. So let me hear you say, roar, 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 roar. I'm resilient. I trust the movement. I negate the negative. I can negate the negative. I'll show up at the table again and again and again. I'll close my mouth and learn to listen, learn to listen, learn to listen.
Thank you, Jonathan. I want to acknowledge that we are living in a difficult time. For those of us who care deeply about the state of the world, those of us who care about the safety and well-being of the vulnerable and marginalized people, people who care about democracy, justice, and peace, it can feel like everything is falling apart. In many ways, it is. I'm not going to sugarcoat the reality. I do believe it's wise to look at the injustices and terrors directly, to consider them fully, but at the same time, getting locked in despair and hopelessness is not sustainable. It makes it harder to meet one's basic needs. And it definitely makes it harder to fight for justice, peace, and well-being for all people and the planet. Time is a curious thing. When we feel trapped in nearly impossible circumstances, it can feel as though everything is going to be awful forever. The present moment can feel inevitable and permanent. It can feel as if things have always been this way, or things were always going to turn out this way, or as if things are going to continue to follow the same track they've been on. We can feel reluctant to imagine a positive future, worrying that it's unrealistic or that we're not capable of this kind of imagination or creativity. This kind of stuckness can feel solid. The way that history is seen can feel solid as well, as if it's static, one-dimensional, inevitable, and linear. But I'm offering a different approach. In our meditation today, I invited you to experiment with a new way of thinking about time. I invited you to time travel into the future 10 years from now. We all have the power to time travel into the future. We don't need special technology like the DeLorean or the blue telephone box that is operated by Doctor Who. Our imaginations are more powerful than we give them credit for. And we can leap into the future and imagine the goodnesses that we want and take small, concrete steps towards making them happen. One way that has been studied to be effective is to create hope where hope did not exist before, is by imagining the future exactly 10 years from now in great and specific sensory detail. 10 years, if you really think about it, is a special amount of time. We mark history in decades, we mark fashion in decades, and we think of our life in decades. We say that the 1960s were a time of change and bell bottoms. The flapper fashion was based in the 1920s, and a person's life from age 20 is often best used for exploration, growth, and new beginnings. Also, 10 years from now is also far enough away that it feels as if anything could be different in that time. But it's still close enough to imagine how small actions we take now could lead towards a transformed future. In the book Imaginable: How to Create a Hopeful Future, Jane McGonigal suggests developing a regular and consistent practice of imagining the future 10 years from now. She suggests that there's something magical about a decade and it is far enough out that current constraints and problems can be imagined to be gone or at least different. She says, whether you imagine something negative or positive, the trick is to imagine it in great sensory detail. Sight, sound, touch, taste, smell. How does your future smell? There is a quiz in McGonigal's book which tests hopefulness. It asks to pick an issue you are worried about and then pick a community that you would like to work towards creating resiliency towards that issue. When I first read the book, I picked supply chain breakdowns and I picked Unitarian Universalism as a whole. As I answered the questions in the quiz, it became obvious that I wasn't that hopeful that I could impact how resilient Unitarian Universalism was as a whole in the face of supply chain breakdown. The reason I picked supply chain breakdown is because it was a topic that my kid, Ren, non-binary child, who had brought to me with concern. They were worried about what if the supply chain breaks down and we can't get bread or eggs or other staples. This issue is likely to be a real concern in the coming decades, especially with climate change already happening. And so I picked it as my topic to test hopefulness. But I found my hope score was low initially. But the crucial thing I learned from taking the quiz is that I became much more hopeful when I picked a smaller community to impact. Instead of Unitarian Universalism as a whole, I imagined myself building resiliency among the people in the building that I live in. This felt much more possible. I realized that if there were supply chain shortages, first we'd need to focus on the day-to-day. So one thing I could do to prepare would be take the time now to encourage my neighbors to create an emergency plan in case they couldn't buy food for a few weeks. It's not too hard to store some extra dried beans and rice for an emergency. Maybe we could start growing microgreens in our apartment. I figured if we made a plan to get through a few weeks, that would be a stopgap to a bigger solution. And it is going to be our relationships to our community that get us through the worst of times. I advised Ren to do research into little easy steps we could take now to get us through a situation like that instead of becoming frozen in fear. When the pandemic started, I was actually able to prepare my home for the shortages we did face for a bit because of this forward thinking. While people around me hadn't accepted that there was a serious virus coming or that lockdown was even a remote possibility, I was preparing. Even imagining negative futures in great detail can help us process grief ahead of time so that when an emergency happens, we can be proactive in meeting the needs of ourselves, our families, and our communities. Adrienne Marie Brown, in our reading today, states that imagination is the spoil of colonization and is an impact of trauma. If we let ourselves believe that the present moment represents the permanent state of things, or that whatever happens next is inevitable, we are giving up our power to change the future. Those who benefit from the unjust systems of today benefit from us feeling that nothing can be done. If we want to create a future that works for everybody, which I know we do, first we cultivate a future-oriented sense of potentiality and possibility by using our imagination. This powerful practice generates new neural pathways in the brain, new ways of thinking that are agile and skillful at brainstorming and problem solving for effective solutions. And we also need to plan our big dreams and small actions. A gift in my 40s has been a deeper understanding of life and of time than I had in my 20s. I see now directly how small habits accumulated over time build to make powerful realities. It's one thing intellectually to know that habits have power, but it's another thing to viscerally experience the power of habit over years and decades. We build our future one small action at a time, and all of this small action, all this small living can add up to be so big. So I invite you now to think about what you imagined in the meditation earlier and look at the art that you made or are still making. What was the future that you imagined? Imagine it again, those same specific sensory details. Bring yourself back to that feeling just for a moment. Sight, sound, taste, smell, touch. What does your future smell like? Now brainstorm one small action that you can begin taking in your life that would move you towards this beautiful vision you had. What's one little daily habit you could build that over time would move the needle in the direction of love, justice, peace, prosperity, health, and beloved community? After the service, I invite you to talk to somebody about the life you imagine. Experiment. This is a good opportunity to experiment with the Drum Allies question of the week. Tell people what your future smelled like. Ask people what their future smelled like. It's kind of fun. It can be any smell. And then when you get home, make a plan. Start implementing one new habit towards this future you dreamed of. Put a reminder in your calendar or on a Post-it note on your mirror that started in creating the future you want. Remember that the future is not decided. The future is not static. The future is not certain. This is a good thing. Potentiality and possibility exist, and they take form through small, consistent actions. By time traveling to the future, may we action our way to a future where all can thrive together. May it be so. Blessed be. And now please rise in body or spirit to join us in singing our closing hymn, number 1017 in the Teal hymnal, We Are Building a New Way.
We are building a new way. We are building a new way. We are building a new way, feeling stronger every day. We are building a new way. We are working to be free. We are working to be free. We are working to be free. Read and learn the sea. We are working on peace and freedom. It's our cry. Peace and freedom is our cry. Peace and freedom will cry. Without these, the world will die. Peace and freedom is our cry.
As Elizabeth extinguishes our chalice, I invite you to rest your hands upon your heart or clasp hands with those you are sharing your life with and hear these words. Spirit of hope, love, justice, freedom, health, and prosperity. Spirit that imbues nature and gives all of us life. As we take small and consistent actions towards a beautiful future, may we remember that we have each other, that all of life is connected, and that we can still choose hope. May we choose hope. Blessed be. Amen.
Very interesting. Thanks. Yeah. Seemed like